Hi everybody, I am here for the weekly excerpt vlog mem that I started. But as you can tell, this is actually being posted on Thursday instead of Friday, and that's because on Friday I am doing a blog tour post with Maggie Stiefvater, where I will be reviewing Linger and posting a short interview with Maggie, as well as having a contest for a copy of Linger. I think it's a hardcover copy. So, yeah, so that should be fun, so keep an eye out for that and be sure to enter. And I'm recording this a few days in advance, so on Sunday actually. So I hope you guys have been enjoying my little Maggie Stiefvater week. On Tuesday, I am going to Maggie's launch for Linger, and which should be a lot of fun. And hopefully she will enjoy what I'm doing this week. Because I told her about it on Twitter, and she asked if she should be scared. But I'm hoping that she'll love this. So, yeah. So then on Saturday, I will be posting a recap of Maggie's launch party to kind of continue the theme. And then Saturdays after that, I'll be talking about ALA. So, anyway, so today, in honor of Maggie Stiefvater Week, I will be reading an excerpt from Linger, her newest book, which just came out. It got kind of pushed back, or not pushed forward or something, I don't know, or pulled back, I don't know, until, to July 13th. So it's already out, and I hope you guys have, I saw it in the bookstore last night, it was very exciting. And I hope you guys go and get it. And the ink in it is green, like the font, the words in the book is green to match the cover. Not in the arc. They didn't do it in the arc. It's all black. But anyway, so I'm going to be reading just a little bit from the book, of course. And in Shiver, the story was told between Sam and Grace. And now in this one, it's told between Sam and Grace, but also Cole and Isabel, who we met in Shiver. And so I thought I'd go ahead and just read from their first chapters in the book. So it's not too far in, it's just a few pages. So yeah, so hope you guys enjoy. Chapter 2, Cole. I have had no thought other than this, stay alive. And to have had only that thought each day was heaven. We wolves ran through the sparse pine trees, our paws light on ground damp with the memory of snow. We were so close together, shoulders bumping against one another, jaws snapping playfully, bodies ducking beneath and leaping over one another like fish in a river, that it was impossible to tell where one wolf began and another ended. Moss rubbed to bare dirt and markings on trees guided us through the woods. I could smell the rotting, growing smell of the lake before I could hear water splashing. One of the other wolves sent out a quick image, ducks gliding smoothly onto the cold blue surface of the lake. From a second wolf, a deer and her fawn walking on trembling legs to get a drink. For me, there was nothing beyond this moment, these traded images in this silent, powerful bond. And then, for the first time in months, I suddenly remembered that once I'd had fingers. I stumbled, falling out of the pack, my shoulders bunching and twitching. The wolves wheeled, some of them doubling back to encourage me to rejoin them, but I could not follow. I twisted on the ground, slimy spring leaves pasted to my skin, the heat of the day clogged in my nostrils. My fingers turned over the fresh black earth, jamming it beneath nails suddenly too short to defend me, smearing it in eyes that suddenly saw in brilliant color. I was Cole again, and spring had come too soon. Chapter 3. Isabel. The day the cop came into the bookstore was the first day I'd ever heard Grace complain of a headache. It probably doesn't sound that remarkable, but since I met Grace, she had never mentioned so much as a runny nose. Also, I was something of an expert on headaches. They were a hobby of mine. After watching Sam dance clumsily with the cop, I headed back to school, which by this stage in my life had become sort of redundant. The teachers didn't really know what to do with me, caught as they were between my good grades and my terrible attendance record, so I got away with a lot. Our uneasy agreement basically came down to this. I'd come to class and they'd let me do what I wanted to do, as long as I didn't corrupt the other students. So the first thing I did when I got to computer art was dutifully log into my computer station and undutifully pull out the books I bought that morning. One of them was a morbid illustrated encyclopedia of diseases, fat, dusty-smelling, and bearing a copyright of 1986. The thing was probably one of the first books the crooked shelf had stocked. While Mr. Grant outlined what we were supposed to be doing, I flipped through the pages, looking for the most gruesome images. There was a grotesque photograph of someone with porphyria, someone else with seborrheic dermatitis, and an image of roundworms in action that made my stomach turn over, surprising me. Then I flipped to the M section. My fingers ran down the page to meningitis bacterial. The back of my nose stung as I read the entire section. Causes, symptoms, diagnosis, treatment, prognosis. Mortality rate of untreated bacterial meningitis, 100%. Mortality rate of treated bacterial meningitis, 10 to 30%. I didn't need to look it up. I already knew the stats. I could have recited the whole entry. I knew more than this 1986 Encyclopedia of Diseases did, too, because I had read all the online journals about the newest treatments and unusual cases. The seat next to me creaked as someone sat down. I didn't bother to close the book as she rolled over in her chair. Grace always wore the same perfume, or, knowing Grace, used the same shampoo. Isabel, Grace said in a relatively low voice. Other students were chattering now as the project was underway. That's positively morbid, even for you. Bite me, I replied. You need therapy, but she said it lightly. I'm getting it. I looked up at her. I'm just trying to find out how meningitis worked. I don't think it's morbid. Don't you want to know how Sam's little problem worked? Grace shrugged and turned back and forth in the swivel-back chair, her dark blonde hair falling across her flushed cheeks as she dropped her gaze to the floor. She looked uncomfortable. It's over now. Sure, I said. If you're going to be cranky, I'm not going to sit next to you, Grace warned. I don't feel good anyway. I'd rather be home. I just said sure, I said. That's not cranky, Grace. Believe me, if you want me to bring out the inner... Ladies? Mr. Grant appeared at my shoulder and looked at my blank screen and Grace's black one. Last time I checked, this was a computer art class, not a social hour. Grace looked up earnestly at him. Do you think I could go to the nurse? My head, I think I have a sinus thing coming on or something. Mr. Grant looked down at her pink cheeks and pensive expression and nodded his permission. I want a note back from the office, he told her, after Grace thanked him and stood up. She didn't say anything to me as she left, just knocked on the back of my chair with her knuckles as she went. And you, Mr. Grant said. Then he dropped his gaze down to the encyclopedia and its still open page, and he never finished his sentence. He just nodded, as if to himself, and walked away. I turned back to my extracurricular study of death and disease, because no matter what Grace thought, I knew that in Mercy Falls, it's never over. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little peek into Linger, and of course, I hope you guys have been enjoying Maggie Stiefvater Week. Please be commenting on all of the reviews that I've been doing, and be sure to check back tomorrow for the Linger review, the Maggie interview, and the contest, and Saturday for my recap of Maggie's lunch party. So, and also be sure to go out and get a copy of Linger if you haven't already. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I should have a Mr. Linky for this, so on Friday when you guys post yours, please come back and post it there. If there is not a Mr. Linky, just put it in these comments here, okay? So, I will see you guys next week. Bye.